Fun takes a holiday in Somerville. That was the headline in the Boston Herald this weekend after an email from an elementary school principal warned teachers to be careful about celebrating Columbus Day and the Thanksgiving holiday. The principal wrote that she was concerned about the, quote, atrocities committed by Christopher Columbus against the indigenous peoples. Well, the warning was too much for some parents who were already upset that their kids are not being allowed to dress up for Halloween. And then the story went national, picked up by news outlets, spawning critics everywhere.
An elementary school principal who's coming under fire this morning after banning all fall holidays.
What?
Ann Foley is the principal of the Kennedy School in Somerville, Massachusetts. She says celebrating Thanksgiving and Columbus Day is, quote, insensitive towards Native Americans.
If you don't want to celebrate it, then don't celebrate it. But I don't think it's right for the kids that do celebrate it to suffer.
This is America, and I think people like her stir up all these prejudices.
Not so fast, said the city's mayor, who expressed sympathy for the principal. And in an op-ed to the Boston Herald, he defended Somerville and his teachers. Apparently, some people must take great offence at something new each day. And today, we have become the designated punching bag. Joining us now, the mayor of Somerville, Massachusetts, Joseph Curtatone. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Martin. Thank you for having me on your show.
Now, are you suggesting that this row has been basically manufactured by a news outlet, the latest, as it were, in a long list of fake scandals?
Absolutely. Jessica Haslam, the columnist for the Boston Herald, really achieved what she wanted to do, create controversy, raise people's ire and outrage over something that just isn't true. We do not ban holidays in Somerville or our schools.
But you sympathise with the principal and indeed defended her as simply trying to be sensitive. But if we looked at every holiday through that lens, we wouldn't celebrate anything. We couldn't celebrate Christmas because Muslims don't believe Christ was God. We couldn't celebrate Thanksgiving. I guess the only thing we would be allowed to be celebrating, I guess, would be the sales at Macy's or some other materialistic secular event.
Well, trust me, Martin, we celebrate all those holidays and more. In fact, we celebrate 13 official holidays in our city and dozens in our schools, including those around the Christian, Jewish, and Muslim faith, and everything about our American history. Nothing is banned. It simply isn't true. She simply raised a question and concern. We might disagree about the rhetoric she used about how to talk around Thanksgiving and Columbus Day. And, you know, she didn't even mention Halloween, so I don't know how that got in there. But it's really sad that when there are real problems, and you were talking about the marketplace earlier, real problems in this country with people's financial woes, and we have occupation in Wall Street and every major city across this country, that the reporters and media can get away with such stories without checking the facts. Well, that is not the case.
Sir, it's not just the reporters. Senator Scott Brown tweeted on Friday, let's not take political correctness to the extreme. Let the kids in Somerville enjoy Halloween. Do you think, I mean, what's going on? And is it really worth Scott Brown spending time on this kind of an issue?
Well, it'd be really worth Scott Brown coming to Somerville because he hasn't been there since he's been elected, and I can see because Scott Brown, since he's been in elected office, has been on holiday. Had he come to our city, and if he would come, we probably celebrate more holidays and civic and events and around our multicultural diversity and ethnicity than any other city in our country, and we're proud of it.
But don't you think, sir, that this school principal might have been better advised to spend her time worrying about the academic performance of her students as opposed to sending an email, albeit to colleagues, but an email like this talking about holidays? I mean, what's the point? We've got kids, as you know, who are failing and struggling in school.
Well, I think it's a fair point, Martin. And for all full disclosure, my three of my four sons go to that school. It's a great school, and she's a very good principal. Again, but as you said, it was sent to her colleagues. I would have used a different form of words and different words in describing that concern. But, you know, to ignore any discussion around the events of any historical moment in time is to avoid history.
Indeed.
It's to avoid history. And that's not what we're teaching. And do we really want to curtail speech? I don't want my sons going to a school system that does that.
Somerville Mayor Joseph Curtatone, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Martin.
And we'll be right back.